Happy mother effing Friday, Zima Brigade. Oh, yes, yes. Perfect pour for ugly man. Woo. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. Those of you who are new, I am Derek O'Shea, and this is the Derek O'Shea Show. Welcome to the Derek O'Shea Show, where we embrace the challenges, we conquer fears, and ignite the inner champion. Together, we shall embark on an epic journey of growth, resilience, and inspiration, hopefully. Ready to seize the day and transform thou life forever. For this is a Taco Shack.
Welcome to the revolution.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Derek O'Shea Show. How you doing? Joshua, first in the chat. Thank you so much, Josh. Shout out to Josh, first in the chat. Shout out to freaking Josh, first in the chat. How's it going? Okay. Let's see. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to turn this off, get this off. How's everyone doing? How you doing, Josh? How you doing? This show is an impromptu show. I hope we got people that call in. I will just start the event and let it on the Discord. I've never done this before. Start the event, let everyone know it's starting. So you guys are always welcome to call in if you want and say hello. If not, you don't have to call in. There's no pressure whatsoever to do the sort of thing. But I always want to make it available just to hang out and talk, because I feel like Friday's about having a good time. Friday isn't about going nuts. I just don't have it in my repertoire to go absolutely batshit you know what. Josh, you're the first ones in the chat on this lovely Friday. Maybe the only one in the chat. Oh, Multi-Shot, what's up? Doing the last WW stash? Doing last of WW stash? What's that? Walter White stash? What's WW stash? I want that. I'll have the WW. The link for the Discord is at the very top of the chat as well. We'll check in on Beanie Man, see how they're doing, see if they're talking about anything exciting.
The way that they,
let me know if there's any YouTubers or streamers that you want me to watch or see.
Because
I'm just hanging out tonight.
But
I want to hang out with you guys.
This is where you have one group of people demonizing another people.
It's Friday.
In order to get the population more broadly to hate
it's
on
freaking Friday.
The people they're demonizing. So you can apply it to World War II, but you can also apply it to a bunch of other contexts throughout history. It's not exclusively something that's happened, in World War II.
Man, I feel like they're always talking about war there. I love this freaking Ben Shapiro thing. I'm doing the WWW stash, West Wing White House stash. Nice. What's that? I'm thinking about doing the stash. We got No Shave November coming up, and I'm thinking about just continuing the stash all the way out. Like, don't get it twisted. Don't hold back on the stash life, man. Stash life matters. You matter. We matter. Everyone matters. It's the Stash Life event. What is this video?
Well, folks, the U.S. Open is happening right now. It's a great American event. So naturally, a bunch of moron environmentalists showed up and glued their feet to the floor. There's a semifinal match.
Our research shows that people don't care what you think. They just tuned in for funny clips. Oh. Wait, what? Are you talking about me? Hey, that's totally fine. Yeah, I don't care. Make me laugh, monkey. You freaking monkey man.
A really good semifinal match on Thursday night between Coco Gauff and Karolina Muchova. It was delayed for almost an hour.
It was delayed for almost an hour.
Environmental protesters in the upper levels of Arthur Ashe Stadium who are calling for an end to fossil fuels, because this is how you end fossil fuels, guys. Everybody is now going to walk home, and no one is going to drive home in their cars because you morons glued yourself to the seats. One protester glued his bare feet to the ground. Quick solution? Does he need feet? I don't know. The protest confused fans, TV commentators, and the players themselves, who were like, what the F?
Does anybody actually like some of these reaction videos of these people?
Gauff, who's the eventual winner, was leading 6-4-1-0. Both players left the court. Stadium security tried to remove the protesters from the stadium. At least 10 New York City police officers were seen surrounding the disturbance in the loge level. Here's some video of the incident.
First of all, that is incredibly brave to do that at a tennis match. Everyone knows that. And fossil fuels.
People behind them are like smiling and laughing because this is so stupid and ridiculous. First of all, New Yorkers, I thought that you're a rough, tough bunch. I mean, you let them off kind of easy. They're just kind of sitting there watching these morons shout. They did this for 49 minutes. Now, how many...
Wow, where's his unusual advertising plug? This is the most I've heard him say it without one. 100%, dude.
Devotees do they win to their cause? I'm just wondering. Also, what is your plan gluing yourself to the floor? I'm like, why would you think... I don't even understand the threat there. What is the threat? That you're not going to go away? Someone's just handcuff the guy, put some duct tape over his mouth, and let him sit there for the rest of his life. Like, fine. You want to glue yourself to the floor and sit here in the loge deck? Don't threaten me with a good time. A spokesperson for the NYPD said 4 protesters were taken into police custody without incident. It was unclear whether the police had charged them. They, of course, should charge them. It's also unclear how security and the police officers were able to unstick the man's feet from the stadium floor.
Hey Joshua, you're in Discord. Did I make it to where you can actually join this event? I'm such a noob when it comes to events that I had it in a category. I'm not sure if everyone could see the event. It's just I'm learning Discord, okay, guys? I'm having a boomer moment.
Gauff said that she had a feeling there'd be a protest at the U.S. Open. She didn't have any idea what they were calling for. She said she believes in climate change. Oh God. So that we're gonna do.
Or if there's anybody you want me to make a phone call to that's having a really rough day that needs a motivational speech, you let me know and put it in the. You can put it in the Discord or and put it in the chat.
This dumb routine.
I'm at a pharmacy right now, though. What are you at a pharmacy for?
Again.
Hope you're not sick.
The group that was responsible said is called Extinction Rebellion NYC, which is a terrible name for a group. I don't even know what that stands for. It sounds like a crappy garage band. Extinction Rebellion NYC.
Sounds like an amazing garage band. Let's not shit on garage bands, okay? Some of us were in one, okay?
And they said there is no tennis on a dead planet. I mean, fact check. True, there was tennis last night on a live planet where you morons glued your feet to the floor. Miles Grant, Extinction Rebellion spokesman, said in a phone interview that they were not hurt. That was really important.
All right, this is boring. God, I thought that would be way more firesome. I wonder. Let's see. $10. Are they talking about World War III?
Prison. There is no circumstance in a sane person's mind where you aren't even there, and they give you 22 years. Only people who did not pay attention to these cases and don't care, or are tribally satisfied by destroying the lives of other people, would want these things to be the case.
I'll take it a step further. There's people that I know that I've talked to that...
Does anybody actually know of any prominent leftists on YouTube? Every time I try to look up prominent leftists on YouTube, I don't really see anybody worth listening to or reacting to or having a debate with. I repasted it, put it in the Discord. Repasted what? I can't leave the stage. Oh, okay, yeah, I can. Repaste. Oh, cool. Thanks, dude. Summer grade. I'm working late. All these people working.
I think that even just being there, because I've talked about a couple cases that I knew of, just allegorically, that were not even.
Shout out to everyone on the Discord, by the way. Those of you who are on the Discord, I really appreciate it. I appreciate. Let's see. Joshua constantly sending. Oh, Joshua and Valerie. All right, we got some memes. Heck yeah, dude. Remember when Democrats banned plastic straws to save the planet? Oh God. Look, I grew up in a time where plastic straws were like, or just plastic in general was like literally the devil. And I remember doing like fundraising drives to save the turtles and stuff like that. And then we throw a bunch of masks. And also, like, I live near a high school, and high schoolers just chuck their masks everywhere. So your public education is paying for children to have masks for their safety, and then they just throw it on the ground. Make it make sense, folks. I repasted the link. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Wait, what is this meme? I really appreciate you guys putting all your stuff in this Discord. I love interacting with you guys. This is what the show's about. Antifa reveals its new tank. Show slow moving, high hit points, and regenerates health with insulin. That might be me at some point. It's like don't make fun of bald people and don't make fun of fat people. You just may never know. No, being fat is a little bit easier to to stop. Ocasio-Cortez severely burned after accidentally touching book on basic economics. That is racist. Can you please teach us some math? No, I haven't finished talking about my sex life yet. Oh, God. Dude, okay, what? This new generation of teachers and their constant desire to disclose who they are to their to their students as of like a form of building rapport is so weird. Like, you don't need, I don't know who knows this, but you don't need to talk about yourself in order to build rapport. You can just ask people questions about themselves to build rapport. You don't have to just be like, by the way, in class, I am a straight male with size B cup breasts, and I want you to call me. Insect politics, vegetable law. Those are the days, dude. I knew a lot of my teachers growing up were liberal, except for my couple of my history teachers. They were definitely. I knew they had a lot of guns at home. But, like, I did not grow up knowing. I mean, the only time I knew when my teachers were very political was when, like, there was, like, a march going on or something. And then I would see them marching or, like, encouraging other kids to march and stuff like that, especially on, like, Earth Day and stuff like that. But I just never knew what my teachers were into. Like, there was never a moment I actually cared to find out. Oh, someone's in the audience. We can go back to this. Oh, Willie, what's up, dude? Let's see. Do you want to talk, man? I think I can invite to speak. If you want to talk, you're welcome to talk in the little Discord server. Always good hearing from the man, the myth, the legend. I think I clicked invite to speak, and then you just click yes. I don't know how this works. Bunch of old people trying to do Discord at the same time. Did you guys grow up with teachers that were constantly political, or was it just me? I think I did that right. I don't know. I think Willie, I think you have to accept it or something, man. Okay.
In the Capitol.
Let's see. What is this? Oh no, dude. Honestly though, like, God. Obama's the new Clinton. It's just like he's in it, man. I can't, Willie. I invited you to talk if you want to talk, but you don't have to. Let me know in the chat if you don't want to talk. I dream. Wait, what is this? I dream women will one day have the same rights as guns. Women have to wait 72 hours before meeting someone while waiting in the background investigation. Women will be banned from entering schools and college campuses and post offices. I drank the Kool-Aid in high school and was excited for Obama to boot Bush. But in the second month, I was devastated by him. You know, like, you're not the only one. I never really got into the whole Obama thing. Oh, Willie. You there? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? I hear you. Papa, do you hear me? I don't know if you set up your mic right, Willie. I drank the Kool-Aid in high school. I never. All my friends were really into Obama when I was in high school. They were like really into Obama, like really, really into Obama. Willie, I can like hear you moving, but I can't hear your voice if you're trying to talk. Oh wait, okay. You muted yourself. Papa, can you hear me? I don't know if you accidentally clicked it or not. I don't want to force you to talk, dude. It's not the kind of channel we have here. Was anybody else in my chat? Were you guys like obsessed with Obama growing up? I voted for Bush, and I was not very political. I played a lot of sports. I did not. I just voted for Bush because, well, I grew up in a Rush Limbaugh household. And it was like, you're going to vote for this person or you're going to die trying. All right. I don't know what's happening, Willie. Let's see. Still figuring out. Oh, no video on Discord. No. You can turn on your video camera, but I don't have my video camera on Discord. I just have like talking like on a telephone. Remember the good old days, Willie, where you could just have a conversation on the phone? remember when the kids would just talk on the phone, have a good time? Hold on, I'm gonna keep it moving and see if they're World War III.
One video per day where I was like, here are the new polling numbers. Donald Trump wants to increase taxes on imports. Ooh.
Last night I
everyone
thought
chills. But instead,
I was gonna message you and be like, I just figured I'd tell you in person. If we win the culture war, it's gonna happen in Baldur's Gate.
You mean like we're going to win a video game, but the rest of the world just burns?
Well, what I meant was we'll be streaming online and we'll have 100 million people watching or something like that. Like 10 million people will watch us stream a video game and like see the humanity in us, and like then the politics will become...
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to do here right now. I'm trying to stream a video game. This app, Discord, is so interesting to me. Like, I get it. It's cool. I can't tell if people on the right actually care about Discord. I just can't. I can't tell if everyone's just like, nah, dude, not my thing. No way, dude. Oh, God, here we go.
All of the late night talk shows have been on hiatus for several months now because of the writer's strike.
Does anybody work in a toxic work environment? Has anybody ever been in a toxic work environment? I mean, the toxic work environments I've been in haven't been toxic because people are like complaining or people are talking. It's always been that no one shows up and I'm the only one working. And it's always been like food and beverage stuff where people would be like too drunk to show up to work. And then you'd be the only one opening up an entire coffee shop by yourself. I would call that toxic in some ways because you'd just be like, I guess it's all on me today.
All of the late night talk shows have been on hiatus for several months now because of the writer's strike. This comes as news to most Americans who had forgotten that those shows existed. Late night talk shows, of course, haven't been relevant, least of all funny, since approximately maybe the year 2003. In fact, I was surprised to learn that they were impacted by the writer's strike at all, as I assumed that they didn't have writers, but they do. And in spite of the strike and the general lack of relevance, one late night show has managed to make the news this week for all the wrong reasons. Rolling Stone has the big expose on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Here's
he's like an alcoholic
chaos,
now.
Comedy and crying rooms inside Jimmy Fallon's Tonight Show. 16 current and former staffers say Fallon's erratic behavior spoiled their dream of working on The Tonight Show. Now, as you can tell from the title,
I love that like all these people are like working for like a comedian and they're like surprised that he's not perfect.
This is yet another shocking report about a so-called toxic work environment. We're seeing these kinds of things with increasing frequency. You might even say that the toxic work environments are having their Me Too moment. First, it was Ellen DeGeneres. Then earlier this year, thanks to another Rolling Stone expose, we heard that the Kelly Clarkson show is a toxic environment where employees feel stressed out and they get yelled at sometimes and they start crying and their mental
I wonder if he's going to break up himself.
health is severely impacted.
He was on that list.
Then a few weeks ago, the American Psychological Association released a new study claiming that
I work with lesbians and trans and leftists. What's that like?
20% of all workers in America, which is about
And are you
30
one of
million
them?
people, give or take, are in workplaces that are toxic. And half of them say that their mental health has been harmed by all of the toxicity in the workplace. And now we have this revelation about Jimmy Fallon. Toxic work environments are an epidemic, it seems. Which raises the question, what exactly is a toxic work environment and how does it significantly differ from a regular work environment? Let's read a little bit of this Rolling Stone report to see if it might help illuminate the issue for us. Quote,
if people make me show up early or on time, I'm allowed to be at least 5 to an hour late every single day.
according to 2 current and 14 former employees, The Tonight Show has been a toxic workplace for years, far outside the boundaries of what's considered normal in the high-pressure world of late-night TV. They say the ugly environment behind the scenes starts at the top with Fallon's erratic behavior and has trickled down to its ever-changing leadership teams, 9 showrunners in the past 9 years, who seemingly don't know how to say no to Jimmy. Former employees described The Tonight Show as a tense and pretty glum atmosphere, with some alleging that they were belittled and intimidated by their bosses, including Fallon himself. Employees described...
Oh, we got a potential caller if you invite to speak. If you want to talk, Queen, you can talk.
Hey, happy Friday.
Whoa, happy Friday. We got somebody that knows how to use it. What's up?
Hey, how's it going? Who's all in this room tonight?
Right now it's just you and me. The 2 best people.
All right then. You know it's right.
Queen, tell me about yourself. What's going on with you?
Not much. I just got home, just sitting down. I saw that little Discord thing. This is kind of a cool change of pace.
Yeah, just kind of relaxing, chilling.
Did you put this? The people from your Rumble have this Discord also?
Yeah. People from our Rumble. I don't think people on the right really, or in the middle, or like independent know what Discord is. I don't. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, if you haven't been part of it, but you know, it's one of those things where I have like maybe 3 or 4 groups that I'm on, and I barely. I got work.
What do you do for a living?
I work in construction. I'm a geotechnical engineer, soils technician, grading inspector.
Whoa, what's that like? That sounds intense.
No, actually, it's pretty kick back. Inspectors, well, I mean, you have to know stuff. Lots of stuff,
right.
But,
all the codes.
Yeah, codes and, you know, requirements and specifications and reading plans and you know, how to deal with people. I've been doing this for a while, so you know, interpersonal relationships with people.
Yeah.
Meet some great people.
Heck yeah.
Meet some awful people. Go to different job sites. It's fun. I like it.
That's awesome. And where do you feel like you line up like politically? We've never had like a real conversation before.
I mean, I don't know how to just little. I'm more conservative leaning, but I do have some, I don't know, liberal leanings. You know, so it just depends on the topic. It depends on the situation. You know, it's you know, I notice a lot of people, they're very staunch with their like, I'm this, I'm that. It's nuanced. Calm down, all right?
Right. You mean you're not a robot?
I'm sorry, you broke up. What?
Oh, are you saying you're not a robot?
It sounded like that. It jumped around like a little.
Oh no, I meant like it's more nuanced. It's like you're not a robot. You're not like A plus B equals C in your political stuff. Like I am only this and will only be this.
Real quick, Derek, just a second. It is really shitty audio. It's coming in and out like you. It's coming in really bad.
Oh no.
Have you played with this before?
No, this is the first time. First time I've ever done. Tell me if that makes a difference. Hopefully. Is that better?
Yeah, it is, and it may have just been me where my phone was in a position where it wasn't getting the best reception.
Oh, okay.
So that could have been that too.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Tell me about your life. Like what, or whatever you want to talk about. What's on your mind this week? What's been on your mind?
Do you have a couch ready for me, Derek?
Always, girl. Tell me. If you want to.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine?
I go to work, I come home. Yeah, I mean, I got a nice life. I got my husband, and we're just hanging out here on the Friday nights and have our little entertainment.
Yes.
Chit-chatting.
Heck yeah. What does he do for fun?
He worships me.
What is that like?
Oh, it's blissful.
It's
wonderful.
He worships you. That's awesome. I've never done that before. I need to do that with my wife.
See?
Yeah, worships.
What about you, Derek?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
I just made a hamburger on the grill. I just got off work, ate a hamburger, and now I'm just chilling. I'm just like,
right on.
Yeah, like, yeah, that's all. That's all.
So I saw Willie came in or left a message.
Yeah,
here. It'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah, we try to get Willie in here. He's still trying to figure this whole thing out.
Well, he looks like he has a foot-long gray beard in his little picture, so it may take him a minute.
Yeah. Him and me both. I'm still trying to figure out this whole thing. Okay. But we got this going on. Are you doing anything fun this weekend?
I'm doing recycling tomorrow. Woohoo! That's fun.
Wait, you recycle? How dare you?
I do. I recycle because California, I don't know where you're at, but California, we got the CRV, so it's not like a fortune, but you know, you get a little money back for it because they charge us because we get charged 5 cents per soda can or 10 cents, something like that. And same thing with the glass bottle beverages. Anything that's not natural juice gets a California value redemption charge when you purchase it. And you could throw it away if you want, or you can recycle it back. And like I got, I don't know, 3 or 4 bags of aluminum cans, and I'll probably get $40, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a huge relief. Thank you, Gavin Newsom.
Oh, no. This has been around forever. Where are you guys at?
I'm in Colorado.
Oh, okay.
We don't get anything like that.
Scandal. There was a sweet scandal that happened. Some people in Colorado, they learned how to milk the system. So they were going to Colorado, and they were obtaining, like, bricks of crushed down aluminum cans and taking them on 18-wheeler beds and driving them back to California and selling them for the CRV value.
What?
They made millions.
What million? Oh, that's awesome.
They got busted. They got busted is how I heard about it, because it's a total scam. You know, Colorado doesn't have CRV, you know, so anyhow, with the system. So if you ever come to California, bring a trailer and a couple bags and that'll pay for your gas.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just I'll bring it on the carry-on.
Well, Colorado's a short drive to California. You're what, like a couple hours away or something on the border?
20 hours? I don't know. I think it's pretty big states. Like Nevada and Utah. I think it's like 18 hours. I don't know.
From Colorado?
Yeah, from
you
like.
You don't get out much, do you, Derek?
No. Why would I get?
Wait. 6 hours tops.
What? Okay.
Depending on where you are.
Okay, I'm gonna
Google Maps that.
I'm about to Google Maps it right now. No way. Somebody. Let's see. How dare you?
I can go from LA to San Francisco.
Are you talking about flying?
About 8 hours.
You're talking about.
No, I'm talking about driving.
Okay, let's say Los Angeles. Okay, if I'll just look up.
Not Los Angeles. I'm talking about right over the border. I mean, if you're gonna be, working the system, you got to get the nearest point over the border.
Okay, what should we do?
The next city, right into California.
Topeka. Okay, I'm clocking at 12 and a half hours from Denver. How dare you?
All right.
It's all those freaking mountains and all that crap you have to go through.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
And I'm not even in Denver, but I feel like that was a good start point. But yeah, maybe I will. And become a millionaire, and when they finally get me down, I'm gonna say it's because of you.
There you go. No, I guess you're right. It takes fucking forever to get from Colorado to here.
Yeah, I have a sister that lives in California, and she was always like, "You should make the drive," and I'm like, "That's too far."
Yeah, it's overrated. I've done those scenic drives, and you're just like, "Is this over yet?" I feel like an 8-year-old. Like, I'm done.
I totally get that. Yeah, especially that. At least it's not as bad as like Kansas or some crap, but it's definitely bad for sure. Okay. Well, cool. Thanks for coming on and saying hello and all that stuff.
You're welcome. I couldn't leave you there by yourself. You look so sad.
What? No, I'm not sad. Is that what this looks like?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, what the heck, dude?
I know, man.
I'm so depressed.
Where's
the Zima?
Why are you depressed?
I'm not depressed. I'm fine. I don't know where well, it's Friday. I don't know. Fridays are always like hit or miss. It's like some people, those of us that without lives are here. So thank you for being one.
Now.
Well, I'm just saying you're one. We're one of the same cloth.
Yes. Give me shit.
No, that's totally fine. You can do that anytime.
There you go. Hey, is it blistering hot over there in Colorado?
Yeah, it's like in the 90s.
Yeah, it's like that here too. I always wish for summer to roll around, but once it's here, I'm like, just calm down a little bit, son. Just a little too much. Just a little bit. Calm down.
Right. No, 100%. No, I'm ready. I'm ready for ski season. I don't know if you guys do it out there.
Well, some people who, are special and cool like that do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know many people that ski. I have skied when I was younger, but it's just one of those things. You really kind of have to have a ski posse more times than not. And the ski places, I live in LA County, so the ski places aren't very great. We have like one ski lift up in the mountains. It's like a 3-hour drive.
Ooh.
Arrowhead has one. And otherwise you have to go all the way to like Mammoth or into like Tahoe areas, and like it's just it's too much. If you have that kind of money, great. But I mean, you're laying down, you know, gas money and hotels, and it's just no. Been there, done that. You know, it's great, but
100%.
So, are you going skiing?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Oh yeah. I snowboard
do
all the time.
snowboarding too?
Mm-hmm. Just snowboard.
Right on.
I'm a snowboarding bitch.
Right on.
Yeah.
How'd you fare the first time you snowboarded?
How did I what?
How did you fare the first time you snowboarded?
I was terrible.
Hate it?
Yeah, well, the first like year, I was terrible. I was like sitting on my butt a lot. I was like having mental breakdowns, feeling like I should quit constantly because I was a skier before, and skiing is easy in comparison to snowboarding. But once it clicks, you're like, I've already learned it. Might as well just keep it up. Yeah. What did you go snowboarding and you were how?
Oh, when I was young, like around 12 or so, I was like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna kick snowboarding's ass, because I just like did one black diamond and I thought I was a badass. So I was like, I'm gonna do this. I did it for maybe 3 hours and I was fair at it, but it wiped me out. I had to go back. I was with my uncle and I had to go back to the car and I knocked out. I took everything off. I went in the back seat and I slept for like 6 hours straight. It kicked my ass. I was like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna stick to skiing, because I only did it like maybe once or twice in the winter time of the season or whatever for like 2 years prior. So I didn't have much experience. I didn't have the muscle tone, but it was fun.
It's definitely one of those sports that like you got to keep up with. If you don't keep up with it, then you're gonna be like,
thank you, babe.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're gonna be. It's just hard if you don't keep up with it.
Yeah.
Was he just worshiping you just now?
He was. He brought me out a beer.
What? What kind of beer? Bud Light?
Oh, shit beer. Miller Lite, as a matter of fact.
Hell yeah, Miller Lite.
Yeah, the cheapo shit.
I'm drinking German's #1 black lager. German's #1 black lager, Kostrig.
Is that your dinner? That stuff's so heavy.
A black lager? Nah, it's light.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
okay.
it's like a more tasteful Budweiser.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm thinking of like Heffenweiser or something when you said German beer.
Yeah, like a Heffy. I can't drink those. I don't.
Yeah, those are like, that's a meal in itself right there.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Wait, so are you guys in Northern California or Southern California?
Southern.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. How was
it?
how was COVID for you?
A breeze. I got real fortunate that our company didn't get all stupid, so that was nice. Yeah, okay. And we had a couple of our coworkers that were like paranoid, and I had a couple coworkers that milked the quote unquote COVID. I have COVID, quote unquote. I had a couple that did that, and all right, whatever. And the LA was, even after they lifted the mandates, it was still retarded, like in the cities and stuff, because I have to deal with the cities on occasion. So prior to COVID, when we submit reports and stuff like that, we had to go to downtown LA and submit it in the building department. Prior to COVID, we'd be able to go up to like the 5th floor or whatever it was and submit it. And after COVID, they transitioned to where they had buckets in the lobby with like paper stuck to them for the different divisions that were in the building, and just dropped it off there in the lobby. You had to have the mask and everything.
Have been on hiatus for several
after they
months
lifted
now
the
because of the
mandates, they
writer's
kept
strike.
that
This
shit
comes as
up.
news to most
and about a
Americans who have
year
forgotten.
after the mandates were lifted,
so it's like
I went to one city, and it was like they still had a placard that said you had to show proof of vaccination to sit down and talk to anyone behind a plexiglass partition that's, you know, a counter person or something like that. I'm like, really?
Jeez.
It's a year later, LA. I mean, they just stupid, and I'm so terrified with this new mandate how LA is going to react because they're just stuck on a special kind of stupid here. They really are.
Oh yeah, I see. I have a couple sisters that live in LA, and they act like LA people are not. They push back, especially like in South Central and stuff like that. But like, I don't know.
It depends on where you are, but I mean, majority of people, and it seems like the wealthier communities are the more retarded. I've noticed that. Like they get people that are just hell bent. Oh, I was shopping one day, and this was during COVID, about a year in or so, and I had my mask under my nose, and I'm talking to one of the clerks, and he was a kid, and it's policy, so okay, fine. But when he's talking to me, he's like, "Oh, can you put it above your nose?" And I'm like, "Honey, I'm like 8 feet away from you." He's like, "Yes, but it's policy. Can you put it on?" Okay, fine.
It's for our
and
safety.
then this lady walked past me, and she's like, "They've changed it to 20 feet social distancing now." I was like, "What?" And she fit the profile for the upper crust ladies. I'm like, "No, just go back. Like, get a hobby."
Seriously.
What? Dude,
Oh.
And just the other day, I saw a lady in her car with the windows rolled up with the mask on. Like, there's still some of those people.
Do you ever honk at them and wave?
I don't.
So you should share with
enjoy. Just enjoy.
Like, what's your problem? That's so funny.
They listen to everyone. What about in Colorado?
Well, it depends where you were. Like people that lived in Denver, I don't live there in that area. People are absolutely nuts in that area, and like, but where I live is very, very libertarian, more than any other political party.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and it was just like even the sheriffs were like, "F you, we're not doing." I mean, there was like a restaurant that was on Fox News. Kind of near where I live that reopened during COVID, and people were freaking out about this restaurant. But people were all in there. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if there was a time to offer a state or let's say a county where all these people could just be segregated to, like here. You guys can go and you can circle jerk each other with your own little mandates. Just leave us alone, please. Live, guy.
They should build their own prisons to live in? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but it seems like they're on that road of doing that anyways. So
yeah,
that's what I need. Social distancing. I need a T-shirt. Social distance from stupid.
From stupid. Would you actually wear that?
I would, actually.
That's awesome. Wait, do you work in a place where no one would care if you wore that too?
Oh, I wouldn't wear it to work.
Oh, all right. I don't just know how hardcore you are.
Professional.
Oh, you're professional. Okay, me too. Me too. Super professional. Unlike this show. Just waiting for this show to fire me. Get me fired one of these days.
Your show's gonna fire you?
No. Somebody watching. Are you? Did you vote for Larry Elder during that recall?
I did, actually, and everyone talks about the shenanigans going on in all the other states. No one ever points to California. I had some incidents that made me really think that there's like serious mafia. I don't want to get all stupid conspiracy or nothing, but when I voted for Trump, I went in and they have like a week or whatever it was before actual voting to go in, and they have the electronic voting machines that are push button. So okay, fine. But when I went, I was like, "Could I have a partition, please?" Because I don't know if you saw the pictures of them, but they're about waist high where the buttons are. And then they have this little guard that's maybe 6 inches and 10 tilted in, kind of like when you're paying gas and that little shield around the keypad. It was like that, but on the scale of the voting machine.
Huh.
So when I walked in, I asked the guy, okay, I'd like to have a shield. They're like, oh, we don't have any. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure you do. You know, voting's supposed to be secure. And he's like, oh, it is secure. And he was standing maybe about 10 feet away. And he's like, well, if you need some help, that gentleman over there, which was standing about 15 feet away from me, he's like, he could help you. And I said, okay, fine. So I'm doing my business. And after you finish with the tabulator, it spits out a print of what you've done. So I went and I started just double checking myself, right? So I go over and this Yahoo runs up behind me and he's like, oh, you just have to put it in this slot and then push the button. And I said, I'm aware, but at this point he's looking at what I voted for. So that just negates any idea of privacy at all. So that happened and it was too late. I mean, what can you do at that point? It's done. And then with Larry Elder, I went in and I actually had a partition. They actually had those set up, which was nice. And then that was I suspect like something, because they had a petition to get him on the ballot to begin with, and it was like 5 million people or something like that. And then when he lost, I'm like, okay, I can get it. What the population here, something like 44 million or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it just doesn't make sense though. But there are enough people that are retarded out here. They're like, there's something wrong with the way that they think. I talked to one person and I was like, hey, are you going to vote for Larry Elder? Like, no, I want to do with Newsom because, you know, he's what I know. And I'm like, yeah, but if you paid attention to how he does what he does,
right,
you think that that's something you want to continue? And he's like, well, I know who he is. I don't know who Larry Elder is. And I'm like, well, something as significant as your way of life, shouldn't you take like, I don't know, an hour? Maybe check into it a little bit. I mean, just dig into it just a smidge and do a little due diligence and then vote. Otherwise, just don't vote at all. You know, do the world. It's amazing. I had, when Hillary and Trump were at it, there was this one young girl. I mean, she must have been early 20s. And I was at a party and she was like, oh, I'm going to vote for Hillary. And I'm like, oh, what policies do you know? And she's like, I don't need to know anything. She's a woman. And I'm like, really? I'm like, have you heard about Benghazi? And she's like, what? And then she's like, no, I don't know anything about that. She's just a woman. I'm going to vote for her. You know, fuck Donald Trump. And I'm like,
what?
I don't need to be over there. Yeah, just no idea, no clue, no nothing, just not informed, don't care. You know, like they talk about all over the internet about how people are just mindless and they just get sucked into people talking and you take it as gospel, and there's just a slew of them. I mean, in my family, my close friends.
Oh, isn't that so depressing when it's your family? You're like, no.
Yeah, it's like, let's just agree not to talk about this. Because I piss you off and you piss me off, and I still love you, so just let's not.
I love that you're from California, and I don't think anyone has said the word retarded more times on my stream than someone from California. I love it. I thought you guys were supposed to be all politically correct.
Well, I'm sure there's a bunch of them, but you know, the state used to be a red state.
Yeah, when was that?
In the 80s.
Yeah, in the 80s, exactly.
And there's some counties that are very red still. It's just the
like
places
Orange
like
County,
LA and San Francisco. Yeah, well, Orange County, Bakersfield. When you get into the middle of the country, there's more people that vote red, from my understanding.
Yeah,
it's just the very north and LA, it seems, and a lot of San Diego too, from what I understand. But I mean, I don't know all. There's 44 million. I can think about maybe 10,000. You know, my poor little mind can't grasp the concept of the 44 million.
How dare you? That's so funny.
Yeah.
That is crazy that people will vote for things that they don't even research. I mean, the last election I was at, there was a guy at the voting booth that was like, is there going to be an R or a D in front of people's names? And I'm like, do you not know who you're voting for at all?
Yeah.
And he was a grown man. I mean, he looked like he was like in his mid 30s
Yeah.
or 40s. I'm like, come on, man. You're not even 18. Look this stuff
Yeah.
up.
But, I got to say, I can't say that I'm the best because I am guilty of that too when it comes to some of them, like, city council or, the school board or something like that. Those things I have zero clue. And then I do rely on the D and the R.
Okay.
And it sounds really bad, but if their name sounds good, like if I have a mnemonic with their name, oh, that sounds good. I could say that. It's so bad. I know it's so bad. I do it.
it's like March Madness. You're like, I like that mascot. That seems way more hardcore. Wait, what kind of mnemonic are you looking for? What does it have to rhyme
like
or something?
Berry or like Cecil Lunatic or something that's just like that's interesting. It's intriguing. So you're probably an intriguing person. Yeah. It's bullshit. I know, but.
Multi-Shant says, on the third day of summer vacation, I woke up and went downtown and looked for a job, and then I got a job stopping people from hanging out at the drugstore. Just so you know. I don't know what that chat is supposed to be. That's so funny. Have you ever wanted to leave California to get away from the politics of California, or is California just too beautiful for you?
Well, I was born and raised here. My life's here. My family's here. I do like it, and it just weathering out the storm. Everybody is uprooted and left, and okay, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just too old and accustomed to my way of life or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you say you're too old. You don't sound old. You know how to use Discord.
Yeah, well, close to 50, so.
Hey, not bad. Not bad for the Discord usage. Good job.
There you go.
That's awesome. Man, California. Yeah. So you're not going to leave the city. That's what every
I doubt it.
Conservative pundit says to do. Get out of the cities.
Yeah, but honestly, where are you going to go? Into some podunk town where, you have a population of, one of the things about living in LA that I really wouldn't want to leave. It has such variety. It has and I know it sounds really small, like a small thing, but the variety of food, there's every ethnic, everything ever that you can imagine, like Ethiopian food. Ooh. It has everything. Right. Yeah. And then you have the beaches are, it was an example of the variety, babe. And also we have our beaches, our mountains, our desert. We have amusement parks that are, a few hours away. You go anywhere else, you got one amusement park that's, 5 acres big. Really? It's just the scale of stuff out here versus other states, and I know I'm inexperienced. I haven't been around, but it just seems like I would miss it,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you did think Colorado was 2 hours away.
Yeah, but in my defense, I was educated by the California education system. True. So geography wasn't instilled in me like it ought to have been.
No, it's totally fair. I had a friend come visit me, come to Arizona, and he texted me. He's like, "Bro, come visit me." I'm like, "Dude, you're 12 hours away." He's like, "They're not an hour away from each other." I'm like, no.
Exactly.
I have to go through mountains.
Yeah. Just don't know.
That's slow driving. Well, thanks for coming on here. I don't want to hold you forever.
Well, I was hoping other people would come on too, but Well,
I don't. It's a new thing. You can't expect brilliance on the first round, and you got us started, and that's all that matters is that you had the cojones.
There you go.
Obviously, your husband married a good one.
Oh, yes, he does, and he tells me often.
Oh, good man. Good man.
As he should. Yes.
Yeah, and tell him I said hi, and thanks for letting me borrow you for a little while.
Sure thing. Derek O'Shea said hi, babe.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Nice.
All right, are you going to cut it off, or are you going to stay on, or what?
I mean, I'll just stay on for a little bit. I got Trump on the background. If anybody else wants to jump on, they're welcome to jump on too. But yeah.
Okay, but I was going to hop off. I do got a couple little things to do.
Cool, yeah.
I just want to come in and say hi. And
I appreciate you.
not leave you hanging because, Mr. Solo Man up there. Poor Derek.
No, what? No. It's not that. I'm just chilling. I'm having a good time. I appreciate you.
All right, then, Derek. You have a good night.
All right, thanks, Queen. All right, bye. Shout out to Queen for coming on here.
The brunt of what Biden has done to our country.
Great orange.
Damage to our country.
He's done.
And I don't want to be the next Herbert Hoover. You know who Herbert Hoover was, right? The Great Depression. He was the president during the beginning of the Great Depression. But I won't let that happen. I will never let that happen. That I can tell you. During Biden's first 30 months in office, just 2.1 million new jobs have been created nationwide. Now, they have a different wrinkle on it. And the wrinkle is so off that even the fake news back there said that he can't get away with that. No, he makes up
I'll
these
look him up
stories,
after this for a little bit. I just want to hear this.
I used to be a fighter jet pilot. Then there's a picture of a truck. I used to drive a truck, and then there's a picture. He does everything. This guy. The worst is, did you ever see his golf swing? He said he's a 6 handicap.
Oh my!
6 handicap's a good golfer.
Trump's
You know when he's 6 handicaps, that's a good golfer. This guy can't hit a ball to Christie.
Chris Christie?
He's a 6 handicap. I think that's the greatest lie of all. Do you want to know the truth? By contrast, during the first 30 months of President Trump, we created 4.9 million new jobs, shattering all predictions and projections. Nobody's ever seen anything.
Nobody.
It's the greatest economy in history. Greatest in history. Under Biden, real incomes have gone down by $7,400 per family. Think of that. Under President Trump, yearly income went up by more than $6,000. That's a record, more than $6,000. Think of that. And all of this horror, and yet Joe Biden is traveling around the country pretending he's an economic genius. In fact, he's actually an economic arsonist, and Bidenomics is incinerating American wealth at a level never seen before. It's an inferno of inflation, taxation, submission, and failure. We submit. Everyone says, what is submission? You're submitting to China. You're submitting to all these countries. We're pouring money out of our country. We can't take care of our own country. We can't help Hawaii. But we send billions and billions and billions of dollars to other countries. The choice in this election is between a Biden economic bust, and it's going to happen, and it's going to be ugly, or a Trump economic boom. We had it booming like never before. This is the most
nobody booms quite like me
in world history. We had the most successful.
It froze. So successful that even South Dakota's live stream is frozen. People are mad. We miss it.
A fake
what's coming?
Number. Crooked Joe cares only about enriching his own family. I care about enriching your family.
Wow.
And something that, again, this is like an evening of firsts, but something which I proudly state, that I'm the only president that ever lost money while serving in office, and I knew that would happen. I didn't know it was going to be that much. That's a lot. I lost a lot of number of billions.
That's why he's doing these
I knew it was
little
part of the
campaign
game,
rallies.
and that's what I intended. I didn't intend. I could have made a fortune. Oh, I could have gone to these countries and made deals. You know, I put things.
Hey,
in
thanks for
trust. I
subbing,
said,
Harold.
My kids are going to run it. I said, don't do deals outside of the country. Don't do this. Don't. They were going, Dad, can we do something? They said, no. You know, I'm president. We have a higher standard. And then I come out and I watch this Biden stuff with. they go to make deals with countries that it's just the craziest thing I've ever seen. And I got to give credit to Jim Jordan and Jamie Comer and all of these guys because they found things that nobody thought could be found. But it cost me billions of dollars, and it's been worth every single penny of it. Because I'm working for you. I'm not working for me. That I can tell you. I could have made so much.
I could have made the most.
Sir, would love to do a deal in Saudi Arabia. Sir, would love to do a deal here and there. Would love to do a deal. I really can't do that.
I would love to do a deal with the Saudis.
Biden would do it.
Yeah.
So we just, we did it right. We did the right thing. And I do it exactly that way again. I will do it that way again. Look, we have a very short period of time. I do it that way.
How can you compare this to
I gave away
Trump?
My salary. Does
I mean,
anybody
to
say that I gave away
Biden.
my salary? No. They used to call every month, did you give it away this month to people? Yeah. And you know, you have to give it to various agencies, actually. Did you give it away? If I ever said no, it would have been, but when I say yes, yes we did, I never read anything about it. If we would have said no, we didn't, there would be headlines.
Rumble
But it was
censored
an
your
honor.
comment?
It was all an honor.
Which-
And if you want the Bidens to
Really?
make millions selling out America to China, Russia,
Turtle
Ukraine,
shade engaged.
while your savings go up in flames, and that's what's happened. How are your 401ks doing, you know, as an example?
Boo, they're not doing good.
Crooked Joe, he's Crooked Joe. You know, we used to call him Sleepy Joe, but I think Crooked Joe is a better name. Crooked Sleepy, Sleepy Crooked. No, I think it's.
We're working on
more
it. It's a
appropriate.
work in progress.
If you want better jobs, higher wages, an affordable American dream, then you must vote for your favorite president, Donald J. Trump.
Vote for your favorite president, Donald J. Trump. That was amazing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I wish those cameras would turn around. You know.
There they are.
You know, you've heard me say this. It's very seldom. I go to arenas, and we sell out these arenas, and they're great. But I wish the cameras would show it. I wish they'd show it. It would actually be good for their ratings. It's a positive, not a negative. You know, when I first started, we started in actually 2015, and would go into an arena, it would be packed, and everybody was enthusiastic. By the way, never have we had the enthusiasm that we have now. Never. We've never had this enthusiasm. And we had record enthusiasm in 2016. In 2020, we had more. We did better in 2020 than we did in 2016. Got millions and millions more. But we've never had the enthusiasm that we have now. But I used to say early on, I'd say, you know, it's a shame. I'd go home, and our great First Lady would say to me, how are you, darling? I said, could I ask you, did you watch the speech? Yes. And she's tough, you know. I'd say, how did I do? Well, I didn't like your hair. Oh. I didn't like the way your hair looked. I said, oh, that's not good. But I said, how did the crowd look? Well, you couldn't tell except for the noise. You know, the noise, it's obviously not 200 people shouting. Remember, Joey couldn't fill up the 8 circles, and then he supposedly won. The fake news would used to have to come. They'd come down and they'd fill in those 8 circles. But I'd say, how'd you like the crowd? Well, they never show the crowd, but I could tell it was a very big crowd by the year. It's like your great football team. It's like
South Dakota, great football team.
You can tell.
South Dakota, whatever you're
You can
called.
tell.
Love this freaking guy, dude. Freaking.
Good. Now I'm going to get a good review tonight. That's good. But you know what? You could tell. It was
I mean,
what
he-
you say. No, they never
He
show
seems
the
like
crowd.
very fresh and ready to
I
go.
figured that it's maybe the structure of the camera. You know, it's on steel tripods, and maybe you just can't turn it. And then we had a couple of embarrassing moments where people ended up fighting in a corner or something, and that camera turned around like a pretzel. They want to show that. So that was my theory. It couldn't do it because structurally, you know, it's very stiff and you can't turn it. But boy, when those guys started fighting in the corner, which was a bad thing, when they started fighting in the corner, I have never seen a camera like that. They got every angle. So I realized that wasn't working. But they won't show. I would love it if the press would turn around the cameras and show this incredible. They don't do it.
It's going to be a very interesting election, people. Remember that. This election is going to be nuts. Nuts. It's like, it's going to be crazy. The press is going to be nuts.
They don't do it. Did you see that? They don't do it. They won't do it. They won't do it because they're told not to do it. Because they want to make it look. They don't want to show crowds like this because nobody has ever gotten crowds like this. Nobody's
Smash
ever gotten,
that
it's not
like
me,
button.
It's all of us. It's our. This is our movement. This
I'm
is
glad
my
another
movement.
brewski.
We're sick and tired of what's happened to our country. But they won't do it, even though it's sort of good for them. You know, you show something that's so vibrant. Look at all the people standing over here. It's incredible. They just won't do it. I just said something. Would you please, I asked nicely, would you please turn around? You guys go crazy. Everybody up in the back, they're going crazy. Everyone's going crazy. Those cameras, I didn't see one of them even make an effort to turn around.
Unreal.
That's why they call it fake news. That's why they call it fake news. You know, I'm proud of a lot of things. You don't mind if I go off the teleprompter for a second, do you?
Finally, here we go. The stuff we're here for. Post indictments. It's actually funnier.
Better than I thought.
He's got nothing to lose now.
Now, we like when we go off the teleprompter, don't you, Greg?
We like it. We like it.
Remember at the beginning, I used to do it without teleprompters. I
Now we
didn't know what
know.
to tell. I said teleprompter, but you have to because when you go on the teleprompter too long, no matter how good you are, it's called the boring time. Boring. But we've had an incredible time with this country. We have such potential, and you know, we speak so negatively, and it's so horrible to be telling you what happened, but you know what happened. Just like all you have to do is watch the newscast, which, by the way, if you look at ABC, CBS, NBC, you look at CNN, you look at MSDNC, which is, I think, the worst of all. I think they're horrible. What they say, they're evil. They're evil. They're really evil. And they're really a wing of the Democrat Party. I mean, they should be paying. Somebody should report that for campaign contributions.
Cotton?
Because it's so bad. What they say is so nasty, so horrible. You know, you don't want your family to watch it. How about me? I hear I'm going to be indicted. I said, indicted? I never learned about that at the Wharton School. Indicted? You're going to be indicted? How about me? I have to go see my wife. Darling, may I talk to you for a moment? Yes. I'm going to be indicted for no reason whatsoever on Friday. And then that happens. Oh, it's traumatic. You call your daughters, you call your sons, and you say this, and it's a terrible thing. And then I hear a couple of weeks
You're
later,
welcome to DM me
I'm gonna
on
be indicted
Twitter.
for something else.
Evac.
Then for something else. Then for something else. And now they're saying, don't indict him anymore because they lost credibility. But how about that? You go 4 times to tell your kids, and even the lawsuits, it's all inspired. All inspired. No, these are sick people. These are people that are actually sick. I mean, and they're just destroying our country. And if we don't take it back, in 24, I really believe we're not going to have a country left. There's not going to be anything left. And you see it.
I'm just hanging out too, cotton candy.
This great state,
or Cammy.
And I heard Christy use that term, flyover, but it's flyover, and everybody admires you when they're looking down. They'd like to be here with you because they know what's happening on the West Coast, and they know what's happening on the East Coast. And it's not pretty. So the people that are smart, they say, there's no more flyover. We're coming right here to South Dakota or other places. I mean, you don't see what's going on other than the news, and the news really covers it up. They don't show the main networks. They don't show what's going on the border. It's peanuts. What they show is nothing compared to the facts. This is an invasion and a destruction of our country, and they don't want to show it because they want that crooked guy to be reelected if he makes it to the starting gate. I don't know if he's going. And I used to treat him with a modicum of respect because I have respect for the office of the presidency, and I would never talk the way I talk now. But when they indicted me for nothing, for free speech, I said the election was rigged and stolen, which it was, and everybody knows that. Everybody knows it. Free speech.
This guy. You're only allowed to question it if you're on the left.
But I used to say, and we're political opponents, but he actually did this to an opponent, a political opponent. Nobody would ever think it's possible. It wasn't really possible, even psychologically possible. He did this to an opponent. But when you think about it, I never said bad stuff. Now I say he's the worst president in the history of our country. He's the most corrupt president in the history of our country. And as other foreign leaders say, and as I say, he is grossly incompetent, and he's very dangerous. Because he has no idea what he's doing. He can't put 2 sentences together. And we're
Rolling
playing
Stones.
with nuclear weapons
Nice.
with other countries, and he has no clue what the hell is going on. So I would never have said that out of respect for the office. Not for him, but for the office. But now that they've weaponized the Department of Justice, now that it's been weaponized, now that the FBI came out with, you saw that with Twitter. They call it Twitter files. And the things they've done are so bad. They're so evil.
They call it the Twitter
files. All of the different
files.
things that have taken place, and with all of the corruption that you're witnessing on a nightly basis.
Oh, exactly, Willie.
And you don't have to watch. The great thing about the internet, a lot of it's really bad, but you get to see what's happening. You really do get to see what's happening. But when you see the kind of things, I feel I'm totally free to speak my mind.
There you go.
My mind is
How
the
it
same
should
as
be.
your mind.
That's how it
because
should
you know
be.
what's happening just like I do.
That's freaking how it should be. People are tired of the talking points.
Because they won't. Because they don't care about South Dakota, that I can tell you. But we will stand up for South Dakota workers, and we will stand up for South Dakota farmers. Nobody's ever taken care of the farmers like President Trump.
I love when people talk in the third person. It gets me so pumped up.
Communist China like no administration in history, bringing hundreds of billions of dollars, as you know, pouring into our treasury, hundreds of billions. They didn't like me too much. Actually, I think I got along very well with them, considering what we were doing. But what we were doing was fair.
Join the Moink movement. I eat Moink.
10 cents.
Hey, good to
10 cents.
see that they're
Hundreds of billions.
on here.
I gave our farmers, out of the money that we got, $28 billion. That's why I say your state, Iowa. I'm going to Iowa tomorrow.
Hey, $5 super chat from Alan. Appreciate
I don't
you.
like to say
I prefer
too often 'cause I
Peanut
don't
Republic
believe in
instead of
doing
Banana
that. I'm not
Republic
going wood. I have
from
a
now
lot
on,
of wood.
Derek.
This is a real wood. A lot of these things are.
I agree. Peanut Republic is far superior.
No, I don't like
Because I'm a peanut farmer.
saying things like Nobody else could do this. Nobody
Steak
else.
advertisement.
But
Dude,
nobody else
get
could
that
have
steak.
gotten you
Moink.
28
I've been
billion
eating
for
Moink
your
for
farmers.
like a
And
year
I said
now.
to the people of
I just got it
Iowa, I said
delivered
to the
yesterday.
people of Nebraska, we're represented very well, Charles.
They need to sponsor my show.
We can't possibly lose because I got the farmers $28 billion from China. Nobody else would even think about it. Nobody else would think about it. And
Nobody
I'll just
gets-
tell you, you know. a guy
Thank you
who's
so much
very
for the super
disloyal,
chat, Alan. I
got him
appreciate you, my
elected, so
guy.
I call him Ron DeSanctimonious. He strongly opposed my protection for our farmers. I protected our farmers very simply. And by the way, those farmers got big checks. Any farmers in here got big checks? Yes? Yes. Oh, he's happy. But that goes to the people, that goes to the workers, it goes to everybody. But we 28 billion. I said
I've been
nobody
eating
else is going
steak
to be
and
able to
eating
do
your
that. I
ears.
said there's no way I'm going to lose farm states. But very simply, DeSantis sided with the communists in China, and he fought very hard that this not take place. He also opposed Medicare, and he opposed a thing called Social Security. Remember this about a politician. Their first idea is always what they go back to. So now I'm sure he's changed. I don't know. I don't watch him. He's gone so low in the polls, I'm not really watching him. They say, sir, forget about him. He's gone. I say, no, nobody's gone. Nobody's gone until it's over, right? It ain't over till it's over. Yogi, the great Yogi Berra, great philosopher. But the sanctimonious voted to get Social Security. Think of it. Social Security 3 times. Voted. Hands up, voted. He is a disciple of Paul Ryan, the great Paul Ryan. You know who Paul Ryan is?
Okay.
And he wanted to raise, and he will raise if he ever got in here, which I don't think is going to happen, not even in 4 years.
Steak equals. I eat steak every
But he wanted to
day.
raise the minimum age to 70. That's a big
That's how you
deal.
keep your T levels
he
high.
He also wanted to hit Medicare. and
Did you
hit
get your
it
peanut farmer's
very,
check?
very
Yes,
hard.
I did.
I ended the NAFTA disaster, the worst trade deal ever made in the history of our country, and replaced it with the brand new USMCA. That's Mexico, Canada. They say it's the best trade deal ever made in the history of our country. I actually think, I may be wrong.
It's the best trade
but I made a
deal
with
ever.
China, but I don't talk about it because once COVID came in, I said, I'm not even talking about it. But the deal I made with China is
you talked about it.
$50 billion they buy a year.
With the
It
pork?
started out at 4 or 3, and then we got them up to 15. And then I went into the negotiating room and I said, listen, you're so big. We want 50 billion. And they said, okay, 50 billion. And I said, do you remember the
They said
farmers? Remember
15
this? I said,
billion.
here's what you do. Because the farmers went along with me. You know, it took us a year and a half to get that done because they're not easy to deal with. They're great negotiators. They were ripping off our country. They couldn't believe this was happening because usually you see the way they go now and they bow to the Chinese. They bow. They have no respect. They get no respect whatsoever. But I said, it's going to take a little long to do this. And I'll never forget, 32 farmers came to see me at the White House. Beautiful everything, beautiful room, all set up. And I said, I'm going to get you a lot of subsidy from China. And one of the farmers raised his hand. I'll never forget. This is the only time this happened. Sir, we don't want subsidy. We just want a fair, level playing field. I couldn't believe it. It's the first time that's ever happened. Because everybody else, Christie says, we want the money. We want money. The farmers didn't. They just wanted a level playing field, which they didn't have. And I went to Sonny Perdue, who was the Secretary of Agriculture. I said, Sonny, what damage have they done over the last 3, 4, 5 years to our farmers? And he comes back 2 days later. He said, sir, it's about $28 billion. I said, it's a lot. I said, we're going to get it. And I got the $28 billion, and farmers picked up big, fat, beautiful checks. And I was very happy to do it. And I said, there's no way I lose a farm. How the hell am I going to lose a farm state? Any farmer voted against me. I can't imagine that. So I was a little bit cockier than I should be, but now I will knock on wood just in case. But I don't see how we can lose with the farmers. And with the manufacturers, same thing. But they buy $50 billion. Now what I understand
Oh, sorry,
is
Queen.
you have
Surprise.
to police that. You have to make sure. I used to go in once every week. Are they buying? Yes, sir, they started. Are they buying? Every week. I'd say, are they buying? I didn't have to say China. Yes, sir, they
I thought
are.
that was
They're
assumed,
buying.
Queen. I'm sorry.
I bet you right now, if you look, I'll bet they're not
It was a
buying
nice chat.
anything.
I'm glad you
I'll
called
bet
in.
they're
Thank
not
you.
buying it all. And the way they push our country around, it's incredible. There's no reason for it. We had a very strong relationship, but it was a good relationship, and we did fantastically well. But that deal might have been better than the USMCA, but the USMCA, Mexico, Canada was a very one-sided deal. That NAFTA was so one-sided. I said, we have to change it. You know, they made some typos in the original deal many years ago. They were typos of numbers, where the typos were actually much more for them, and they didn't change it. They never even called it, you know, you have a thing called, you call up and you say, by the way, we made some mistakes. They didn't bother changing it. That deal was so bad, NAFTA, for us. And now the USMCA is so good, they want to renegotiate the deal. They called up the Biden administration, this deal's not fair. And I hope they don't do it, because they shouldn't do it. It's a great deal for us, but I think maybe the China deal might even be better. But we made a lot of them. We made deals with Japan, because they were really ripping us big. We made deals with South Korea. You know what they were doing.
I think everyone in the crowd, their eyes are glazing over.
We did many, many things. And we made
Enough of the deals. Go back to talking about
we made people in
something
manufacturing
fun.
successful. We stopped them from dumping steel. We saved our steel mills. It's been such a great honor to do it, and it was sort of easy. You know,
talk about Dylan Mulvaney.
Abe of Japan, who was, as you
this
know,
explains why Democrats want this great man in prison or dead.
I went to him.
I
said, "Listen, Shinzo, this is so unfair. The deal that you have with America."
Had I known, I wouldn't have.
Really, I said, "No, it's really unfair." I said, "We got to redo it." He says, "I knew you'd come to me." No other president came to him. He said, I knew you'd come to me, because he understood. He understood how unfair it was. South Korea, the same thing, sort of. They knew it was so unfair. I said to South Korea, we have to renegotiate the deal. We have 35,000
Oh, this is live right now, Queen.
In harm's way, because you have North Korea. But I got along very well with Kim Jong-un. If I weren't elected president, you would have had a nuclear war guaranteed. If Hillary Clinton went in, or Obama in some form, maybe the form would be Biden, you would have ended up in a nuclear war. We got along after the first month or two when it was rather tough. You remember? Little Rocket Man. And he said, I have a red button on my desk. And I said, I have a red button too. Mine's bigger, better, and mine works a lot stronger than yours. And President Obama told me when we sat down, it's a sort of a ritual before you take office, I sat down, I said, so what's the biggest problem? He said, biggest problem is North Korea. I mean, he really felt we were going to end up in a nuclear war. I said, have you called them? You know, rather than losing millions of people, have you called them? And he didn't say yes. And I said, well, maybe somebody should have to call. And the truth is that they did call, and they were not received well. When we spoke and we dealt, I went over there. You remember that? It was a very historic moment. Went over there. And I said to Kim Jong-un, you know, being a real estate guy, it's just sort of natural. I said, you have the most beautiful shoreline. Think of it. You're between China, Russia, and South Korea. Look at the beautiful shore. You could have the most beautiful condos that you've ever seen and become rich as hell. You don't have to live like you're living. But he's a tough guy. He's a smart guy, and he just loves collecting nuclear weapons. That's what he does. He collects nuclear weapons.
And slave women.
And we got along incredibly well once we met and once we started the whole thing. And we saved the Olympics in South Korea because nobody was going. Nobody wanted to be blown out of the stadium. And we came along. They actually participated in the Olympics. We had a great relationship, and it would have been great if we would have had a deal done long ago. If
they might try, Aladdin.
And that's the way it is. I mean, it's a shame. Think of what's happened to our country in just 3 years. Think of what's happened to our country. You look at the borders and you look at, we're not respected. We're laughed at all over the world. We're losing all of these countries. Saudi Arabia now is aligned with China.
North Korea leader.
We don't want them aligned with China.
Trump 2024, baby.
They have tremendous oil reserves, but we really don't need their oil reserves. You know, we have more oil under our feet. I called it liquid gold. Then Saudi Arabia.
I called it liquid gold. No one thought of that before.
And you know what we do? We get it from Venezuela. They won't take it. We take their tar. You know, they don't have good oil. They have tar. And you know where we process it? In Houston. So all that
Texas, baby.
Stuff, if you're a believer in that, and I believe it to a certain extent. Not like the maniacs that want to destroy our country, but it all goes up into the atmosphere. And when China's very dirty, it all blows over here. Just like you ever see in the Pacific Ocean? We're taking tons and tons and tons of garbage because China dumps their garbage in the Pacific, and the tide flows it in toward Los Angeles. We're picking up their garbage, and then
most
they say,
reasonable people like Trump over Biden.
They have to participate because it blows over in 3 to 4 days. So what good does it do for us to destroy our businesses by putting controls all over the place?
Airbnb gold.
By having, we had a trucker. I saw him over here someplace, a father and a son.
I'm right here.
I said, I read last night where they want
Media's
to make
playing
all
us.
of
They
these
try.
big trucks that travel all over the country. They want to make them all electric. It doesn't seem to make sense to me. He said, it will destroy the industry because they go for 2 hours and then you have to charge them for 4 hours, right? He was saying it doesn't work, and they put it on. They don't even talk. You got to talk to the people. You got to talk to the people in the trucking industry.
Just talk about how
not to
expensive
some
those cars are,
person
Trump.
that wants to destroy our country. I actually believe that's what they want to do. But unlike the establishment globalists,
You can't
in this
afford
race,
one
and they are globalists.
of
I've
Biden
also been an
nomics.
unwavering defender of ethanol, which you like right here, on behalf of the American farmers, and remain the ethanol champion. Now keep it. It's a big factor in Iowa, your state. It's a big, big factor. Our record on the economy is unmatched in the history of our country. So it's no wonder we're up very big in the polls, leading all Republicans in the primary by massive numbers and crushing crooked Joe Biden in the general election. The new poll that came out just today. Remember, I used to go over the polls in the old days. I'd go over the polls only if they were good. If they were bad, I wouldn't go over them. If I had a bad period and the polls weren't looking good, I wouldn't talk about them. If they're good, I talk. But I'll tell you, I'll talk now.
At least he's
'cause
honest
these are the
about
best
it.
polls. In the new premise poll that just came out last night, we're at 62%. DeSantis is second at 12%. But he's sinking rapidly. So we're at 62, he's at 12. He's not doing a great job. And the rest of the people are in single digits. You know, we have a couple of them that are at 0. I wonder, what's this guy from Arkansas? I love Arkansas. This guy,
Asa.
Hutchinson. Ada. I call him Ada Hutchinson.
I call him Ada. I don't know
What the hell
why.
is he doing? He's at 0.
Why do you call him Ada?
He's been working so hard. He's a nasty guy, actually.
China is
but
ready to
he's
ship
been working so
cheap
hard.
electric
He's at
cars
0.
here. Oh, yeah, they already are.
Does he think he can win? He's not going to be picked for a cabinet post if that's what he's thinking about. But in the Redfield-Wilton poll, just came out a few hours ago, we're at 65%. DeSantis is at 9%. That's now we're hit. Now we're hit. You know, when we started, when I announced, we were up 20, 25 points. That's a lot. Now we're up 50, 60, 70 points. And then they say, why aren't you doing the debate? I say, wait a minute. If I do the debate, what am I doing? I have a guy at 0, 1, 2, asking me nasty questions. Somewhat
So
of a hostile
nasty.
network asking me nasty questions, right?
Yes.
What am I doing? Why am I doing it? And, you know, you want to have a smart president, not a stupid president, right? What I do look forward to.
Yeah, but we
What I
want
do
the
look
content,
forward to
Trump. We want the
Is
content.
debating the Democrat, whoever that may be.
Just tank us. Just tank us.
And again, it's going to be interesting to see because I don't think he makes it to the starting gate, but maybe he does. But it's going to be a very interesting period of time. And in the just released Iowa State poll, big deal. You know, Iowa's a very big deal. I kept them first in the nation. They very much appreciate it. They didn't do that. The Democrats didn't do that. But in the Iowa poll, just came out, I'm up 37 points, 51 to 14 on
Rock Biden.
I don't even know if DeSantis is second
Barry
anymore.
Biden.
He's heading bad. He's turned out to be an unskilled politician. When asked by Morning Consult, which is a big deal, who has the best chance of defeating crooked Joe Biden in November, it was Trump at 63%, DeSanctimonious at 13%. So that's good. And Christie and her incredible, by the way, he's an incredible guy. Her husband is an incredible guy, and I appreciate you putting up with everything in the world of politics. It's, I don't know how the hell you do it. Incredible guy, wonderful guy. But we're doing well, and she's doing so well. I looked at your polls. I'm not going to talk about it because I think you might be beating me in the state. And that's unacceptable. Usually I come in, it's unacceptable, Christy, to have that happen. But we're leading Biden in an electoral landslide by 5 points, 6 points, 11 points, 7 points, and various other polls. A couple haven't won. You know, as a Republican, when you lead a Democrat in a presidential race by 2 or 3 points, it means you're way ahead. But it's sort of different because the polls are very skewed, it's called. People that don't know politics, one poll came out last week, I'm leading by 3. And a friend of mine said, how the hell can you only be leading by 3, this guy? He can't speak. And I said, that's the world of politics. And we have to be so careful. We have to make sure that they don't cheat because they are cheaters. And that's the biggest fear that we all have. It's the biggest fear. Biggest fear that everybody has. Our momentum is unprecedented and hopefully unstoppable, and that's the reason that Joe Biden's ordered his leading opponent arrested on 91 fake and phony charges. 91. How many charges are they? But we're going to ask for dismissals of a lot of it. Most of it is just, you ask for dismissal. It's called dismiss the charges. But remember, it's a Democrat charging his opponent. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. That means that if I win, and somebody wants to run against me, I call my attorney general. I say, listen, indict him. Well, he hasn't done anything wrong that we know of. I don't know. Indict him on income tax evasion. You'll figure it out. And you know, the good thing with me is I have a big voice, and people know me, and you know me for a long time. But people know me, and I'm able to speak. But if you're a regular politician, a really good politician, an honest politician, and you get indicted, you get a subpoena, and that gets reported in the paper and the news, you have to leave office. And the Republicans in the Senate and the Republicans in the House cannot let this go on because people are being destroyed. Lives are being destroyed by these sick lunatics in Washington. And I think I can honestly say this, Christy. I'm the only person in the history of politics that's been indicted whose poll numbers went up 25 points or something. Right? I think so.
And people are losing their mind about that.
You know, usually if you get indicted, it's standard. I've watched it for years.
One party, yeah. It is
I'd like to
uni party.
announce my retirement. I'm going home to spend more time with my family and to fight these charges. You know, there's nothing you can do. But fortunately, I have a big voice, and people know, for better or worse, you know what the hell you're getting, right? But you're getting somebody that loves you and that's going to fight for you. That I can tell you. But you're witnessing the most corrupt and blatant weaponization of law enforcement our country has ever seen, and they're doing it for a single reason: election interference. Because with these indictments comes bad publicity. Now, my case is unusual, but maybe at some point that switches. You know, you go with these people and they're sick, and they say this and that, and you have to prove. But it's incredible.
That's what I think, Willie.
If you take a look at
World War III will start
for
the election.
To the publicity of
Just
a person.
a guess.
And I know numerous people over the years that I've really thought were honest in many cases, and they were literally out of politics in a matter of hours. Some of them literally quit immediately upon getting served with a subpoena. That won't happen with me. So we did. Thank you. By the way, and I say this more to the country than to this great state, because we have some states that are very close. This is not close. What did I win by this state, Christy? Like a lot. 28 points or something. So you're very forgiving, right? No, but you have others where it's closer, and you got to be very careful. But you have to get out, and you have to fight like hell. Because these are dirty players, and what we have to do is we have to take back our country. We have to straighten that whole situation out. And it does. It allows me to now, because this is unthinkable, I'm president and I call my attorney general, indict my opponent. He's doing well. I'm leading Biden in all these polls. Every time I have a good poll, it seems every time they give me another indictment. What's this one for? But if you're the president, you're the chief law enforcement officer of the country. You remember the fake impeachments. We had impeachment hoax number 1 and impeachment hoax number 2. There were 2 fake impeachments. One was over a phone call that turned out to be exactly right. Exactly right. But what you do is you make it impossible for people to win an election. It's called election interference at a level never seen before, and we have to stop it. But if they're allowed, what will happen, whether it's me or anybody else, if they're allowed to do it, that means that the Republicans are allowed to do it. And then you get into this situation which is really very bad and very dangerous for our country. Nobody thought a thing like this could happen. We did great in 2016 and we won. We did much better in 2020
Smash that
than
like
we did
button.
in 2016, getting many millions
Thanks,
more
Willie.
votes, and we're going to do even better than we've ever done before in 2024. I feel that. I mean, I see it.
I mean, he's probably right, though, to be honest.
Don't
I think
forget, you look at this arena, and it's packed. Look at this arena. It's
it's also
packed.
South Dakota.
We're a
but
year before the
he's
election.
probably right,
You know,
though.
these guys don't pack an arena the night before the election. They have a smattering of people. Oh, good Lord. Remember Hillary with the thing with the women screaming? That one woman with the glasses, she's become famous? No.
He just did that.
That was the most beautiful stage I've ever seen. By the end of the evening, it didn't look pretty. They rigged the presidential election 2020, and we're not going to allow them to rig the presidential election of 2024. We won't have a country. We won't have a country. Every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists, communists, and fascists indict me, I consider it
I know.
a great
Every time he says
honor.
Christie, I think Chris
do.
Christie, too.
And
so
I'm
funny.
being indicted for you. I am being indicted for you. I'm not too
I hope he
thrilled
does well,
about that,
too.
but that's part of the job description, isn't it? I'm being indicted for you. This battle is for every patriotic American Joe Biden and the radical left has spied on. Look at what they did. They spied on my campaign. And
What's
we
up,
caught
Christian?
them. Let's see what all happens. We had a great report come out. Durham was a great report. Just took too long.
No.
Took so long.
Hold on.
And we had the IG Horowitz. He did a fantastic job. By the way, appointed by Democrats. He did a fantastic job. We caught him. They spied on my campaign. Think of what would happen if I spied on, let's say, Obama's campaign, or even Biden's campaign. I wouldn't want to. It would be too boring. But let's see. Although you'd see things that were very bad, but censured and persecuted or slandered it's really a threat to democracy while they trample our rights and liberties every single day of the year. You see it, you just turn it on and you see what they're doing. It's a horrible thing. It's for the blue-collar workers, the waiters, the waitresses who Biden is harassing with 87,000 new
Hold on, Christian. I'll look at it.
that are allowed to carry guns.
It looks
by the way.
really
They
silly.
don't want guns, but they're allowed to carry guns. They're allowed to carry guns.
Oh, you made it.
While the Biden
Nice.
crime family cheats on their taxes as they take in millions and millions of dollars in bribes from all over the world. I mean, the whole thing is incredible. Joe Biden is a Manchurian candidate. You know what that is, right? He's totally controlled by China and other countries that paid him off, and he's petrified of them because they know the real numbers. Jamie Comer, Jim Jordan, they would not have to wait very long. They could give him a list where the money came from, how much, and that's why I think he's acting so weak with so many countries. It's for the pro-life Christians and others who Joe Biden has thrown into jail facing 10, 15, and even 20 years in prison for protesting and free speech, while Antifa and other groups burn down cities, kill people, go free, and don't even in many cases get prosecuted. So this battle that we're in is a battle for all of us, and it's for history. This is historic. This is a big moment in our country because we're either going to
Has
go
anybody
one
ever drank
way
that blackout
or the
coffee?
other. And if we go the other,
I'm a pretty
we're not going to have a country
big
left.
coffee snob. I
We
think I'm going
will
to do like a
fight together. We
conservative
will win
creator
together,
coffee
and
off.
then we will seek justice together.
And I'll just buy from
We will seek
whoever.
justice together.
Peaceful protest. Grishin just sent me this clip. What is this?
Thank you.
Why did you send me that? That's so cringe.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Never forget, our enemies want to stop us because we are the only ones who can stop them.
Though
They
I
want
loved
to take
it.
away my freedom because I will
Thanks for
never
sending
let
me the
them
clip.
take away your freedom. I'd rather have it be me. Rather have it.
What? I'd rather. What did he just
Friend of
say?
mine, very
I'd rather be
smart,
the one to
very
take
tough.
away your freedom.
He said, President, could I ask you a question? What? How do you take it? Every day you get another indictment.
Manchurian
You never had
candidate, Trump
anything like
tried to
this.
get- yeah.
I said, no, I didn't. I said, I don't know. You just have to take it. I'm doing it for a lot of great people. And I said, second of all, do I have a choice? Do I have a choice? I don't think so, right? Because we have to do it. We did the greatest job ever, and now we have to finish it off. We're going to finish it off. We're going to do a job like we can make this country number one. Right now, we're a laughed-at bunch of fools. The world thinks we're a bunch of stupid
At least he hasn't
fools because we're
talked
led
about
by a
Operation
man
Warp Speed
who
like
should
he
never,
does
ever
sometimes. Like,
have
don't
been
talk
allowed
about
to
that.
been in that position. He's in a position that he should have never been allowed to have. And in the end, they're not after me. They're after you. I'm just
Yes.
standing in their way, and I do proudly stand in their way. And I promise
Love it.
you this.
I love it.
If you put me back in the White House, their reign will be over, and America will be a free nation once again. We're not a free nation now.
Oh no, we're not.
We're
Nope.
a terrible. I don't think there's ever been a darkness around our nation like there is right now. I mean, you take a look at Afghanistan, that horrible moment in history. I was with a lot of the families the other night at one of my places, and they're incredible people.
really
They'll
sad
never be the
moment
same.
in our
They're never
life.
going to be the same. That was so unnecessary. The way we got out. I was the one getting us. I think we would have been out sooner. We would have been out with dignity and strength. You don't take the soldiers out first. You take the soldiers out last. Took the soldiers out. The rest was a field day for these people. And they would have never done that. You know, we didn't lose one soldier in 18 months. Not one soldier. Not one soldier. And Biden actually in his speech admitted that, and they gave him hell. Don't say that. That's a good thing about Trump. No, we didn't lose one soldier in 18 months, think of it, over in Afghanistan with the Taliban. And it's so sad to see. I was with these people. They're great people. They show me pictures of their sons, daughters. One came up, sir, you had to know my son. He was so good at football. He was a quarterback, sir. He could throw the ball. There's a mother. He could throw the ball so far. Could I tell
Over
you
the
about
mountain?
a game that was played? You know,
I could
we
throw
have
the
a
ball over the
rival.
mountain.
It's a local school, and they were very tough. And my son threw the ball, and he kept throwing it, and so far, I wish you could have seen it. And I just let
Are you
her
serious?
go. And it was just tough. I don't think the people can ever be the same.
Throw
So
that
much
football
of
over
that.
a mountain.
And they
Are
were
you
treated so
serious?
badly by our government and so badly by this man that doesn't have even a clue. He's looking at his watch. The bodies are coming in. Going, huh. He doesn't know what the hell it says anyway, huh?
There
It
you
was
go. This
so
is what we
horrible
want.
to see the whole thing. But in addition to Governor Noem, we're pleased to be joined tonight by her wonderful husband Brian and
Toto
her
babe.
mother Corin, who I met. Who
What's
is
our family's father
fantastic.
told
Now I know
Biden
how
and
this all
TC?
happened.
Yes, that
Could
was
you
good.
please stand up, please?
Stand up.
Corin,
We want to know who she's married
Brian,
to.
Thank you.
What a lucky guy. She's a total babe. Good for you, man.
You think it's easy
Brady.
being with her, huh? It's not easy.
Yeah, Brady.
They're incredible. Two incredible people. I've gotten to know them. Lieutenant Governor Larry Roden has been terrific. Really terrific, wherever he may be. Thank you, Larry. Attorney General Marty Jackley. Attorney General. Thank you. Great job you're doing. Great job. Treasurer Josh Hader. Josh Thank you, Josh. Fantastic.
Is this it?
Auditor. That's what the United States could use, a good auditor like Rich Satgast.
Not for Americans, but maybe for
Did you
the
know
government.
They said billions of dollars to Afghanistan. Nobody has any idea where the money is. Rich, that wouldn't happen with you, right? He'd know every penny. I don't know, maybe not every penny, but think of it. We've put in $200 billion. And Europe, which is approximately the same size economy if you add it up, but which is obviously much more affected by that whole situation, would have never happened, by the way. Zero chance it would have happened. Zero. Would have never happened. And I'll get it done, too. I'll get it negotiated done, but it would have been a lot easier. All those dead people, all those cities that are in ruins, just in ruins. But
Trump gets the names right.
That and
That's
you look
true.
at what happened. This is
Good call.
something that should have never, ever happened. But Europe is in for 20 billion. We're in for 200 billion. Why? It was like that with NATO. I said, you're not paying your bills. The United States was paying close to 100% of NATO. So they screw us on trade, and then we have to protect them militarily. I said, that doesn't work. And I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars in one meeting. They said to me, does that mean, sir, that you're not going to defend us from Russia if we're not paid up? I said, did you pay? No, I didn't. That means you're not going to be defended. And the money came pouring in. It was an amazing thing. Hundreds of billions of dollars. That's why NATO has money to do this. But think of it, they're in for 20 billion, we're in for 200 billion. Why? Why aren't they the same? First call I'd make is NATO. You got to equalize. You got to equalize. You got to put up money. But
Put
they're
up a
dealing
shut
with
up,
stupid
baby.
people, our leaders. They're dealing with stupid people. Why should France and Germany, and why should all of them put up money if we don't ask them to put it up? Nobody asked. It was like with NATO. Nobody, Bush never asked. Obama never asked. He'd go in, make a speech, leave, and that's it. We'd pay all the costs. And nobody's asking. Do you think Biden goes there? You've got to equalize. This is not right. I don't think so. I don't think he knows
What does he do? What does he do?
We've been talking
Show
about
us.
it.
Show
I
us.
told them.
Show us.
But we
Walk
have
around
to-
the stage.
We have to get them to put up money. They have
What
to
a
put
moment.
up money because they have a lot of money. But why should they put it up if we're doing it? We sent $25 billion yesterday, and somebody said, it's a lot of money. By the way, $25 billion, that's a lot of money. It was just like on a fluke. Blinken or somebody went there and he said, we're going to give you another 25 billion. That's more than Europe has put up. But we have to be respected again. They don't respect us at all. They respected me, and I was tough on them with all the money I took in from countries, but in particular China. But they actually do better. You can be tough, and you'll do better with them. They never treated us and me the way they treat this administration. They treat them like they're lapdogs. They call up. She said they are. Who said that? Stand up, please. Will you stand up? Who said that?
Thank you.
Somebody.
This is what I want.
Well, you're right about that.
Give her a podcast.
They have to respect you. School and Public Lands Commissioner Brock Greenfield. Brock, thank you. Is China buying any of that land, Brock? No, he says, no, sir. Public Utilities Commissioner Christy Fegan. Thank you, Christy. Great job. A very special guy. This guy is tough. I mean, he's great. He broke every record tonight. He never thought he'd see a thing like this happen, because it's true. What Christy said, a lot of the people turned it down. I don't turn down. I come back to the people that love me. I come back. They turned it down.
Trump, you're welcome on my
And
podcast
if they
anytime.
did come, you'd have a crowd of about 100 people. But he knew what he was doing. He went to Christie. He said, do you think you can get
Chris
Trump?
Christie.
And they called me, and I said, let's do it. Let's break every damn record for South Dakota. He's your GOP chairman, John Wick, and he's doing a fantastic job.
The John Wick?
Great job.
He's got a gun.
Great job. Thank you very much, John. A man who's also doing something very special, Rapid City Mayor Jason Solomon. Jason. Thank you, Jason. A friend of mine and one of the most respected people in the Senate. He's a great guy, Steve Daines. Where's Steve? Where's Steve? He is doing some job, and he's my friend. We need more Steve Dainses in the Senate, because the Senate has to get a lot tougher. Steve knows that. They got to get a lot tougher in the Senate. It's sad what's happening. And a man who was my first person. He's just outstanding. That's all I could say. He said, I put him in 6 months before I ran. This is 2015 now. I said, what are you thinking? They were doing polls, and it looked like I was doing well, beating people. And he came in and said, sir, I'm telling you, you're going to win. I said, really, you think? And every day he'd come to my office, sir, you're leading, you're winning, you're leading. This poll is unbelievable. Look at it. I don't even know if it was a real poll. He just kept saying, you're unbelievable, sir.
It's crazy how long he can do a speech for. It is like insane.
And he got me a little bit excited. And then I started seeing the country wasn't doing well. And I said, you know what, Corey Lewandowski, I think what we're going to do is we're going to run. And he's a great guy and a very smart guy and a wonderful person and a friend of everybody.
Got a good-looking wife.
Corey Lewandowski, where is he?
Santa.
Where is he? It's true.
He's really good at announcing names and making people feel like they're a part of it.
I have a feeling
it's
it
like
might be true.
anybody
You,
that's
Corey.
in leadership
Great
positions.
guy. With the help of many of you in this arena,
Making
in 4
people
short
feel like
years,
they're
we
a part
achieved
of.
more
I
than
mean, that
any
is
administration in the
that's
history of
leadership
our
101
country. We
right
have
there.
to.
It's
And I
good
say
stuff.
that all the time, and the fake news doesn't even correct me. We've done so many things. We became energy independent for the first time in history, and soon would have been energy dominant for the first time ever. Making billions and billions of dollars, rapidly paying down our staggering $34 trillion in debt. We're going to pay it down so fast. And reducing your taxes still further. I gave you the largest tax cut in the history of our country, larger than the Reagan tax cuts. We created the most secure border in U.S. history, built nearly 500 miles of border wall, got Mexico to give us 28,000 soldiers. You know, they always say, oh, he didn't get Mexico. I got Mexico to give us free of charge 28,000 soldiers while we were
noticed that
building
about
the
him
wall.
right
We
away.
built
Yeah,
almost
no, it's good leadership
500
stuff.
miles. You know what my critics say? Oh, but it wasn't all new. No, if there was an old 2x4 laying in the ground that's 50 years old where they would take it and throw it away, would put in a brand new wall, they'd say, that was a renovation. That wasn't, no. These people are sick. So we built almost 500 miles. Then we were going to add another 200 miles, and we had it all done. You saw what happened, and would have taken them 3 weeks to put it up. We had the bad result in the election. Would have taken 3 weeks, and we would have, every hole would have been plugged. And we built the
That's what she
exact wall
said.
that the Border Patrol, they're incredible. Brandon Judd is incredible. Tom Homan is incredible. We have
what are you, like
incredible
5
people,
years old?
and they want to do their job. It's incredible. You know, they could sit back and they could just not do anything. They really want to do. They love the country. They want to see it happen. But we got Mexico to put up billions and billions and billions of dollars in 28,000 soldiers protecting our border. We had the best record ever in the history of our country, and that included human trafficking, mostly in women. A horrible thing. You'd think of it as an ancient, horrible situation.
Yeah,
but
it's very horrible.
It was just, it's bigger now because of the internet. It's this massive, massive business, much bigger than it was 100 years ago and 200 years ago. It's horrible, but we had it to the lowest point it's been in decades. And we had drugs down to the lowest point they've been in decades. And we got Mexico to give us all those soldiers. For all those people that say, this was much more money than I was going to get Mexico to pay. They gave us 28,000 for. Now, I did tell them, listen, if you don't do that, we're going to tariff all the cars that come into the United States at a level like has never happened before. We would love to give you 28,000 free soldiers. Sir, we would love to give you 28,000. You know, when I first told them about that, we need 28,000 soldiers, your soldiers, free of charge. We need them on the border. And they looked at me like, are you kidding? Then I said, no, we have to have it. No, we won't do that. I said, yes, you will. You will do it. I'm telling you, you will. And we had a person at the State Department, a woman who was great. She was dealing with Mexico for 25 years. Sir, he'll never do it. She was very good, but she was never able to get anything. But she said, he won't do it. They won't do that. And I said, yeah, they will. Then when I met with the representative, the top guy, And I said, yeah, we won 28,000 soldiers. He said, we're not going to do that. Why would we do it? You're going to do it. You're going to do it. He said, no, we're not. I said, yes, you are. Here's the story. I'm signing this document right now. On Monday morning, this was a Friday night, on Monday morning, everything you send into the United States, we're going to have a tariff on of 25%. And that's more money than your 28,000 soldiers will ever cost in a million years. Sir, I'd like to leave this room right now and make a phone call. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I said, you can do that. He came back. Sir, it would be our great honor to supply you free of charge 28,000 soldiers. And when I was negotiating, I said to Brandon Judd, and I said to Tom Homan, and I said to all of the people that were there that are so great. We had that border so good. It was so. All he had to do was go to the beach, okay? Which he does anyway. But he destroyed everything. If he went to the beach, who the hell is telling him to go to the beach every day? Tell me, does
Okay,
he
here we
look good?
go.
He can't lift. You know, those things weigh about 3 ounces. They're meant for children to pick up. He can't lift the chair. He can't get his feet out of the
Finally,
sand.
he's bringing people back.
Who the hell, does he have some political consultant say, you know, you've got a great body. You should go to the beach.
That
Who
in
the
your
hell is
body
giving
looks
him that
good.
advice? I don't know. Does he like the beach that much? So
We
crazy.
love those hairy legs. Are you kidding me?
We negotiated, very important, remain in Mexico, because they used to come into our country and we couldn't get them out. When they touched our soil, you couldn't get them out.
Finally.
So we said, we want
more
remain
of
in Mexico. Hundreds of thousands of people were in Tijuana and different places. I wouldn't say Mexico was thrilled until we learned who they were. And in many cases, we wouldn't accept them. We wouldn't take them. And Biden gave that up. It was not easy. He gave it up. And we deported illegal alien criminals by the tens of thousands, MS-13. ICE is so incredible. They don't get the credit. These guys are so tough and love our country so much. They would walk into a nest. They call it a nest of MS-13. These are killers. These are the toughest. This is the toughest gang probably in the world. A lot of them go to Long Island. They go to different places. But Long Island, for whatever reason, and we have thousands of them. We got rid of thousands. But these guys would walk into a nest and you just see fists flying. I mean, it's the most incredible thing. Who the hell wants to do it? See that guy there with the black? You're a stand-up, please. You're a tough guy. You're not going to do that job, right? Oh, he voted for Trump. I like him. I knew he's got a thing. I vote for you, too. But you wouldn't do that job. I wouldn't do the job either. But these are tough people, and they love our country. And they were taking them out. They used to call it a paddy wagon. They were throwing them in, and they were taking them out by the thousands out of our country. And we had a
Can you
problem
imagine being
because
called
these
out?
other countries, like
Look at this guy.
El Salvador, all of these different countries, they wouldn't take Guatemala. They wouldn't take the people back. And they came to me and they said, sir, Guatemala, El Salvador, they won't take them back. They never have. They've never agreed to do it. And President Obama was never able to get them back. I said, oh, how much do we give them in aid a year? Sir, we give them 75 million. I said, I think you're wrong. I think it's 10 times that amount. Sir, I'd like to check. He comes back, sir, you were right. It's 750 million. I say, well, that's peanuts compared to what we do, but it's a lot of money. So I said, inform them that effective immediately, we're not making any economic development payments to the country. Because what they would do is we would load up a plane, we would load up a bus, we'd take it into their country and they wouldn't allow it in. They put planes on the runway so our planes would fly in. They had big planes put all over the runway so our planes couldn't land, so they'd come back. This went on for years. And I said, okay, what you do is we're not going to give them any more money. The 750, informed them, effective immediately, no more money. The following morning, I got a call from the 3 presidents. Sir, we'd like to talk to you. Actually, there were separate calls, too, but the exact same words. Sir, I understand there's some difficulty with bringing people back to our country. I said, yeah, for about 10 years, you haven't allowed anybody back in. You send them out yourself in the caravans, but you don't take them back. He goes, sir, perhaps there's a misunderstanding. We would be honored to take them back. Sir, when will the money start coming back into it? I said, number one, you got to take them back. We brought them back into those countries by the thousands and thousands and thousands. Some of these MS-13s, You read the story. In Long Island. In Long Island, two beautiful young girls, 16 years old, were walking to school, and they attacked them, and they cut them up in pieces, little pieces. They killed them both. And they used knives, not guns, because the knife is much more painful.
Sexy?
They watched these kids suffer. These were beautiful, perfect kids. Number one in her class. The other was fantastic athlete. They cut them up in pieces. These are animals. I said that publicly. I said, these are animals. And Nancy Pelosi said, these are human beings. They're not animals. No, they're animals. And we got them out by the tens of thousands. Now they're pouring back into our country because we have stupid people running our country. We appointed over 300 federal judges and 3 great Supreme Court justices. And I'm going to tell you something, because it's really a positive. It's a big positive, but they try and play it as a negative. Last year, those justices bravely and incredibly ruled on something that everybody has wanted for decades, for 51 years. They ruled to end Roe v. Wade. That was a big thing. And it's probably cost us politically, because the other side got energized. And, you know, they're the radicals, not the pro-lifers. But now pro-lifers have a tremendous power to negotiate. They have a power. You had no power to negotiate, because with Roe v. Wade, you couldn't negotiate. They could do anything they wanted. We didn't have any of that before this ruling. This moves the issue back to the states, where every legal scholar said it should be. And like President Ronald Reagan, good man, but like Ronald Reagan before me, I support the 3 exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. I support. Not everybody does. I think a large portion do. I think you should, but again, that's your own. That's your own
Especially the
feeling.
life of the mother.
Remember, the Democrats are the radicals on this issue, because they're willing to kill babies in their 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th month, and even after birth. They're willing to kill babies. So when politicians talk about this, they have to say that they're the extremists, because if you're willing to take a baby out of the womb in the 8th month or the 9th month, or after the baby's born. Remember that crazy governor, the past governor from Virginia, where he said, when the baby's born, you make a decision. And just recently with the Supreme Court. So that, by the way, the pro-life question, it's going to get you in a position where a lot of tremendously good things are going to happen. 52 years they tried to get that out. We did it. And now you're going to be in a position to do what everybody knows is right. And it's a very important decision. Nobody thought it would be possible to get, but it's something that's very important. The Supreme Court also approved something that nobody thought they would ever see: merit-based systems of education. In other words, if somebody is going to college and has all A's and wants to apply all A's, the best of everything, works so hard and gets rejected by somebody that didn't have anywhere near the academic credentials, nobody thought that would ever get approved. And that was so important. That was such a big thing. It's called merit-based. We have to go back to a merit-based country.
That is white supremacy.
But that was just the beginning. Here's just some of the agenda I'll be immediately implementing when it's all of us, when we become 47th President of the United States of America. Before I even arrive
I like that.
at the Oval Office, shortly after I win the presidency, I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled. He would have never done it. I know them both. You got it said. When I was on CNN, I said, I want to see whose side are you on? I said, I'm on the side of people not being killed. I'm on the side of hundreds of thousands of people
a
are
triggering
dying, and I
talking
think that's going
point.
to be one of the bad things later on when you find out the real number of people dying in that war. You know,
100%,
they'll knock down a city, they'll knock
100%.
down an apartment house, they'll say 2 people were injured. They weren't injured. There were
100%.
hundreds and hundreds of people killed. Those buildings don't come down and you have 2 people
You just
injured.
saw Ukraine
Big
asking for
buildings
women to
coming down
be a part
on
of their
buildings
army
that are
now.
1,000 years old with the golden domes. You can never
Lots
do
of
that,
people
but
are
much
dying.
more importantly, the people. So many people, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. It'll be millions. It's already millions. And it's a very, very sad thing. And the numbers are far bigger than anyone understands. And I'll get that done. I'm the only candidate who can make this promise. I will prevent World War III. I will prevent it. Nobody else is going to prevent it. Nobody else is going to prevent it. And this will be a war like no other. This is a nuclear war. If you have World War III, it'll be a nuclear war. And this won't be army tanks going back and forth shooting at each other. This will be levels of destruction that nobody's ever contemplated or thought of before. I will totally obliterate the deep state. We started that. We were doing so well. Then COVID came in. And we'll fire the corrupt bureaucrats who have weaponized our justice system and destroying our country.
You
To
could have done
stop
better
the
on that
Marxist
one.
prosecutors who release rapists and murderers while persecuting Republicans, conservatives, people of faith. I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist, and reverse enforcement of the law. I will immediately terminate every open borders policy of the Biden administration. We will seal up our borders like they were when they took office. Week after week, we're watching as Joe
Those old
Biden's
people are
deadly
leaving.
border
They're
betrayals
like,
take
"He's
precious,
talking so
innocent
long."
lives. In May, a pack of 5 adult illegal alien and suspected MS-13 animals were arrested in Maryland for brutally murdering a 15-year-old boy and dumping his body in a state park. When the parents saw this, they'll never be the same either. The people that I was with the other night, they'll never be the same. These parents will never be the same. No parent will ever be the same. Just last month, a savage illegal alien who was released into our country by Joe Biden and his crazy, weak orders, and there are no orders, was arrested for raping an 11-year-old girl and strangling her to death after she was raped. Shortly before she was murdered, she texted her father that someone was knocking at the door. He arrived home from work and found his daughter's body stuffed in a laundry basket under her bed. These vicious Biden border killings must end, but it's only going to get worse because they're letting people in from prisons, from mental institutions. They're letting some of the worst people in the world in. And I tell you, I've met a lot of your law enforcement tonight. We have the greatest people in the world, law enforcement. They know how to do their job. We have to let them do their job. When I'm reelected, we will immediately commence the largest deportation operation in America.